¿Quién es Billy Meier? Billy, Edward Albert Meier, nacido el 3 de febrero de 1937, es un ciudadano de Suiza que es la fuente de muchas fotografías controvertidas de ovnis. Presenta estas fotografías como evidencia para respaldar las afirmaciones de que está en contacto con extraterrestres. Además, también ha presentado otro material controvertido durante la década de 1970 como ensambles de metal, grabaciones sonoras y metraje cinematográfico. Meier informa de contactos regulares con extraterrestres a los que llama pleyadianos. Meier afirma que los pleyadianos tienen una apariencia similar a los humanos del norte de Europa y afirma que el mundo natal de los pleyadianos se llama Erra. Se encuentra en una dimensión que está desplazada una fracción de segundo de nuestra propia dimensión. Los contactos del 28 de enero de 1975 con una mujer extraterrestre llamada Simhase dejaron muchos datos reveladores para ese momento, donde trataban temas que van desde la espiritualidad y el más allá hasta los peligros de las religiones principales, la historia humana, la ciencia y los fenómenos astronómicos.
Mr. Meier, when did the experiences begin?
The contact begins on January 28, 1975 in Ville.
How did it happen? What made you go outside into the forest?
I got something like a very nice voice in my head. I heard something to leave the house, to go out and to take a photo camera with me. So I left my house, and then when I was far outside from the village, I heard a singing noise in the sky, and when I was looking up there, I have seen a disc. This disc was flying on the clouds, and then it came to the point where I was staying with my motorcycle. Then slowly it came lower and lower and settled down between the white trees and the forest there behind.
Meier later photographs the impressions left by the disc's tripod landing gear. The grass has been pressed and swirled in a counterclockwise direction. Even a year later, the grass has not sprung back, but Meier notes that the impressions swarm with insect life.
Then I have seen a person who came out of the disc.
Person came out?
Yeah. I have seen that it is a woman.
Mr. Meier, what did they look like?
She looks like a human from this earth. Like you, like I, like human beings from this earth.
You call us extraterrestrials, and you attribute to us superhuman powers. But we are like you. We too are still far removed from perfection and must evolve constantly, just like yourselves.
After the first words, we turned and was going to this tree here.
You walked over here?
Yeah.
Sit down. And you sat here and talked to her?
Yeah, then we was talking here for about 1 hour or 1 hour and a quarter, something like that.
Did she give you a name? What did you call her?
Yeah, she told me her name is Semyase.
Semyase?
Yeah.
Billy, what kind of feeling did you have sitting here under this tree with a woman who just landed in a spacecraft?
I wasn't afraid about these things. I was afraid about the army only, because they have a station somewhere there behind the forest. But I wasn't afraid about the disc.
Where do they come from, Mr. Meier?
They shall be coming from the star picture of the Pleiades.
The Pleiades, a bright star cluster some 500 light years from Earth. Although the cluster consists of hundreds of stars, 7 stand out clearly to the naked eye. The Greeks call them the nymphs of heaven. We call them the 7 sisters.
What was going through your mind? What did you want to talk about?
You see, my head was full of questions, but the most of the time she was telling me, and I hadn't many chances to ask her something.
Several times we have tried to establish contact with Earth humans, but usually those selected were not willing. They were afraid others would consider them liars, mad, or would try to destroy them.
You see, the first she told me I shall get the most best pictures of UFOs, what's ever happened on Earth. The second thing, I shall go out to tell the truth to the human on Earth, why they are coming to here, what reason they have, that they are coming to Earth not to harm us, not to make war, not to bring peace.
Why are they interested in us, a society thousands of years behind them in technological development? According to Meier, we share common ancestors. Their forefathers were our forefathers. We are, in a sense, family.
This is the place, Bergerumlikon, where I took that picture.
Show us how you took the picture, Billy.
Oh,
Meier takes the team to other contact sites and demonstrates how he operates his cameras.
I have here a small wheel to turn the film, and I can get the picture. You see, on this way I put on my camera.
We're taking movies, right?
With a film camera on a tripod, Meier can shoot stills with his 35mm camera at the same time.
And then I can start to film. Here I got the movie, when was the ship hanging there up, and when it after was jumping.
By jumping, Meier means the ship disappears and reappears.
From that out, I always got the electrical hit.
By electrical hit, Meier means an electric shock. He also noted a light shift at each event.
On this place I had one...
Meier takes the investigators to over a dozen sites, describing the craft, which he calls beam ships, and relating the information he says the Pleiadians gave him.
You see here, you see there the road, and on the middle of the distance to the road was the ship hanging in the air and bubbling in a very strong wind. And in the background on the road was driving cars from Teiling to Rumlikon and from Rumlikon to Teiling. But if somebody had seen something about the ship out of the cars, I don't know.
You didn't hear anything after that?
No.
Billy también afirma que sus primeros contactos extraterrestres se produjeron en 1942 a la edad de tan solo 5 años, con un anciano extraterrestre llamado Sfat. Los contactos con Sfat duraron hasta 1953, poco antes de que Sfat falleciera. De 1953 a 1964, los contactos de Meier continuaron con una mujer extraterrestre llamada Asket. Meier dice que después de una pausa de 11 años, los contactos se reanudaron nuevamente, a partir del 28 de enero de 1975, con una mujer extraterrestre llamada Simhase, la nieta del mismísimo Sfat. Meier dice que también ha tenido muchos contactos con otro hombre pleyadiano llamado Ta, comenzando en 1975 y continuando hasta el día de la fecha. Sfat fue el maestro, mentor y un modelo a seguir de Edward. Le enseñó a Billy cuando era niño, de 5 a 16 años, como un confidente, un asesor y un personaje inteligente. Y también un tipo de bisabuelo para él, podríamos suponer. No hubo suficiente tiempo para que Sfat le enseñara a Edward todo lo que necesitaba para enseñarle. A continuación, vamos a ver unos fragmentos de los análisis de las imágenes de Billy Meier. Atención.
You got the Vogel tape in.
Great.
Back in Phoenix, the investigators begin to sort out the massive material Meier gave them. There are hundreds of photographs, the 8mm films, sound tapes of the beam ships and the fragments of metal. They know they will have to call in scientists from a variety of fields to help assess the evidence. The task appears monumental. They decide to check the photos first. If these are fake, the rest doesn't matter.
Here we have our image. The ground is below. We'll place this on the platen, emulsion side up, in order to focus on the emulsion.
The first step involves translating the photographic image into digital information, the language computers can read.
We can start this machine from the point which it is at now and scan 500 lines, 500 points per line, at a very small aperture, and watch the result of this scan being placed, digital information, keep in mind, onto a display. All right, over here on our display, we can observe what the densitometer is doing.
This microdensitometer is the same one used to help analyze the photos beamed back from space by the U.S. Pioneer mission.
And tell it that we want to go 5 microns between each pixel. It will be digitizing a ½ centimeter square, scanning the first lines.
The digital information will be sent on for an analysis that will take weeks to complete.
Examination of these plots did not reveal any details which would cast doubt upon the authenticity of the photograph. And there's more. Color, copy negatives, color separation. Nothing was found to indicate a hoax. And his conclusion is even more interesting. Let's see, black specks, positive. Nothing was found in the examination of this print which could cause me to believe that the object in the photo is anything other than a large object photographed at distance from the camera.
Meier reported 6 different configurations of Pleiadian beam ships. Davis analyzed what the investigators designated as Variation 2. Variation 3 now goes to computer analyst Jim DiLatoso.
This is the new picture that we digitized last week. Using the microdensitometer, we transferred it over to floppy disk here.
Have you of any kind? Anything?
I find strange things, but nothing that would tell me that someone's tampered with the pictures.
I see. Nothing indicating a hoax method or indicating superimposition or anything like that?
Nothing that I can find.
Have you been working on the grain at all yet?
Yeah, I have.
Well, what are we seeing here?
What we're seeing here is that the film grain holds up the way that it should. In the pixel distortion test, it appears to me and to the computer that this object was photographed in the same original piece of film at the same time that the background was photographed. In other words, no overlay.
Respecto a su misión, Billy continúa diciendo: así que mi conocimiento sobre lo creativo, espiritual y consciente, así como sobre las leyes y mandamientos creativos, aumentó cada vez más, de lo cual resultó que estas cosas llegaron a predominar como parte de mi vida. Esto a su vez llevó a tomar conciencia de mí mismo y a darme cuenta de que tenía una misión que cumplir en este campo aquí en la Tierra, que este es de gran importancia para la evolución de la gente de la Tierra de una manera espiritualmente consciente, así que comencé a comprender cómo, dónde y por qué de este hecho. Descubrí a través de esto que ya había estado activo en esta misión durante muchos millones, incluso miles de millones de años, durante innumerables encarnaciones. Me di cuenta que era un maestro aprendido e instruido en asuntos relacionados con la enseñanza de la mente, enseñanza de la conciencia, enseñanza de las leyes y mandamientos creativos naturales y enseñanza de la evolución, etc. Y este era el camino que tenía que tomar. Tenía que recorrer el camino del cumplimiento de la misión. Pero antes que nada, necesitaba una gran ayuda de seres humanos que no eran de naturaleza terrenal, sino de alta naturaleza espiritual y material externa. Entonces, en el transcurso del tiempo, me dieron esta ayuda para poder comenzar a cumplir la misión de mi vida. Esta ayuda me llegó cuando yo era un niño pequeño que ni siquiera iba a la escuela. Ellos provenían de las profundidades del espacio, de otro mundo, en forma de extraterrestre. Sfat, que se convirtió en mi primer maestro alto y a través de quien obtuve un poco de tiempo, un inmenso conocimiento en relación con la creación, sus leyes y mandamientos, así como las leyes de la naturaleza y los hechos y conexiones de la mente y la conciencia material. El caso de Billy Meier sigue siendo impresionante hasta el día de la fecha. Fíjense ustedes, tantos análisis, tantas grabaciones, que vayan investigadores a nivel mundial a visitarlo, a hablar con él, a hacer investigación de campo, a llevarse sus fotos para analizarlas, y que todo diga una cosa, que no ha sido adulterado, que es real. La verdad está delante de sus ojos. Muchas gracias por ver mi video. Quitando el velo, les manda un fuerte abrazo a todos. Abrazo grande.